Yo, 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 what up, everybody? Froggy Socks here. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. Excuse me, I have allergies today. Cloud cover rolled in. It's been raining in New Mexico. It's really nice. I did get a little cold last night, but I get the sniffles. So, just looking at HE today, bouncing around. It bounced off the trend line, the ascending wedge that we have for over 7 days now. Bounced again this morning. It wicked out, went down, touched, came back up, and now is running into the breakout points we were talking about. I did decide today to close my call options because I have a theory. I think DZZ may be right. I'm pretty sure there's 2 or 3 people on Twitter specifically who are following me. They're actually hedge fund managers, and they're doing it to get back at what happened with SBNY, in my opinion. And Brandon Holland, DZZ on Twitter, absolutely killed it in calling this. And I noticed this clown, Major 22, started coming out of the tree line and attacking me the past probably 3 months while Ape was going on. Like, they were mad that we were actually saving positions in AMC by telling people, dump your AMC so you don't become this like lifelong bag holder. If you want to stay in the play, you stay with Ape. This guy is calling Mark a chicken farmer. Now, only people in the industry call Mark the chicken farmer. I've never heard a retail person call him the chicken farmer. That's an industry thing. This dude right here, this guy, I'm pretty sure manages some type of hedge fund. Brandon was right. I think I have been targeted for the last 3 months, and it's it's kind of, at first I was like, well, I'm not even playing that much money or whatever and blah, blah, blah. But I've been winning big. I mean, my being up 300% on the year is huge. If I had any type of like actual real money over, and I almost did when I played Metropolitan Bank before I got hit on that too, due to the Jamie Dimon thing, where Jamie Dimon came out and basically started a rumor that there was going to be a short ban on banks by the SEC, which wasn't true. I was up over $150,000 on that play, and I should have cashed out and walked away. But Metropolitan Bank should have went underwater. It was halted. It was suspended. They were getting internal investigations, and Jamie Dimon came out and saved the day. And that is because Metropolitan Bank is actually one of the IPOs that JP Morgan underwrote. Now, coming into yesterday, we have Gary Gensler testifying in Congress, getting blasted, and specifically getting blasted on something really important, MMTLP. And if you guys didn't see it, Busy Brands, you should follow him on Twitter, has been working on this for a year now. Listen to this.
Materials, or MMTLP. I've heard from many Idahoans how they've been impacted by the troubling trading halt of the metamaterials, or MMTLP. Investors across the country share these same concerns. They have a lot of questions about what happened, the inability to sell the stock, and potential IRS implications. And to get answers about what happened, they've sent letters and made Freedom of Information requests of the SEC and I believe FINRA as well. And as of this point, I don't think we have the full response. And you know that my office has engaged to get answers as well. Can you confirm that the SEC is reviewing the trading halt from December 2022, and will you commit to publicly releasing the SEC's findings on this investigation?
Let me just sort of step back. FINRA is separate from the SEC, and they have a set of rules. They're organized, and those rules are approved by the SEC after public comment, but they then move forward and implement their rules. The matter that you raised around metamaterials, if I recall the name of it, in December of 2022, if I recall. Under FINRA's rules, they sought trading halt. They didn't seek the SEC's advice or permission on that. That is something that they did separately in that matter.
So is the SEC not investigating these actions at all?
The SEC's role is to investigate many things in the capital markets. We don't speak to specific investigations, but we do, on a regular basis, examine FINRA for compliance with their rules and examine them on a regular basis on whether they're following their own rules as put out to public comment.
And are you examining their process and their compliance with their own rules with regard to MMTLP?
We regularly examine, because they're such an important part of the capital markets, we examine them annually, I think. Part of our division of examination has a whole unit that examines FINRA on a regular basis.
Well, I don't know whether this question relates to you or FINRA or both, but the investors have asked for the aggregated audited share count for the MMTLP and for the blue sheet data to ascertain whether MMTLP shares were subject to counterfeit and naked short selling. Have FINRA and the SEC analyzed MMTLP for any potential fraud or wrongdoing?
We seek to analyze fraud and wrongdoing wherever it might be in our capital markets, and certainly we're well aware of these matters, but I can't speak about specific possible investigations or even confirm or deny whether we have them, because it protects the markets. When we sometimes close an investigation and we don't find something. But certainly we could follow up staff about the specific questions about data.
All right. Am I hearing you say, though, I do believe I'm hearing you say that there could be an investigation underway, but you can't give data about it. But if there is an investigation underway into these matters, and if that investigation finds answers, is that information not going to be made available to the public?
We only make information as a result of any investigation public if we either settle or bring charges in.
So basically, Gary Gensler's dodging the question. MMTLP has been brought up directly in front of a congressional hearing with the SEC. Busy Brands has been working his butt off getting that together, and he did a phenomenal job. And if anything, besides SBNY, when we won on SBNY, which I think I'm starting to take heat over, these guys are now getting MMTLP on the scene, because MMTLP was blatant, obvious, out in the open fraud by the market. People are caught. It's there. I mean, Gensler is a fucking loser. The fact that the MMTLP issue happened and we have the evidence of what happened and nobody's been charged yet is an absolute mind job. But that lets you know the theory of the market. So Joe Mama put a stupid comment of the day up. Can you tell everyone how you thought the ape conversion play was going to be good for everyone again? One, if people would have said, or if people would have stayed in their AMC instead of listening to me and going to ape, people who dumped their AMC from, I don't know, 6 months ago till up to the conversion saved themselves a 70% downside. 70%. You would have lost 70% of your AMC value, then got reverse split into 10x bags, and then once again diluted into the ground. Now, people who held ape, they averaged down significantly, and or they sold their ape prior to the conversion for a 40% gain. I could have walked away with 40% 2 days before the conversion, and I decided not to because, one, I wanted to stick with the community that I was trying to help out fix their bags, which I did. I've got endless DMs and emails from people saying, thank God I listened to you. And people who got out early said, thank you, I made money. So, you made so many videos go so long saving how the reverse split and conversion was going to be so good. It was good for some people. Again, Joe Mama, your stupid comment of the day. I know people who are in my channel, like Grandpa Barney and another lady and a couple other people made well over 40%. So you're stupid. Joe Mama's in here with absolutely brain dead, stupid comment of the day trophies. Everybody in the chat, just put up a little trophy for Joe Mama because he's earned it. And we're going to move on. There. This is Joe Mama's trophy. Stupid comment of the day award. Let's see. Okay, back to HE, guys. Yes, I did dump my calls, and I'll tell you why. I put $20,000 into a long position on HE instead. I did take a hit on my calls. More than likely, I'll regret it tomorrow when this thing breaks out. But since I'm so long on the stock now, I don't need to worry about my calls taking off and going through the roof anymore in case this breakout here doesn't happen. This all looks like it's setting up higher lows. Oops, move my line here. Higher lows with known resistance into a weekend expiry where we do have a lot of options, call options on the chain. Now, they may try to dump all those calls out of the money, rip the options chain, and we open up with no breakout Friday. But it looks like tomorrow or after hours or in the morning, HE should break out to the upside as volume's been creeping back into the stock. And right here, when we had this big run, let's see, let's go to 10-minute. Was it right here? Well, here was a pretty decent day where we got like 1.5. But back here when the stock initially ran, let's see, what did we have here? We had like 90, 7-some million. It really didn't do nothing off of that 7 million in volume. It really didn't do much. It went to 15, hit resistance, came back down, cup and handle fail. We reversed off of the known bottom, 1190, which was a set support line. And now we're getting higher low off of the ascending wedge. So I messed my lines up when I zoomed out or something. Either way, this looks like it's due for a breakout back to 15, back to the upside this week. So I dumped my calls, so I reduced my risk on those, and I saved whatever money I had left in them. It was quite a bit, actually. But like I said, I put a huge lump into HE. So CPI came in hotter than expected. I am surprised we are not more red. Yeah, me too. Yeah, thanks for hitting that too. Good morning. I believe you had a video with an average down link. Do you still have that link? Let me find it for you. It's an average down calculator. Cost average calculator. Stock cost average calculator. Stock screener. That's what it is. Here you go. It's actually a really good tool. It's probably one of the best I've seen. So you put how many shares you bought in at the prices you bought them in at, and then you calculate it, and it'll give you your new cost average. So let's go to Gergavin's page. I woke up late on purpose this morning. I'm testing something out, especially on Twitter. Oops. D's Easy's got his head in the right position, man. He was. Looks like BP CEO was fired for drilling somewhere he wasn't supposed to. That's funny. U.S. monthly inflation increased at the fastest pace in over a year last month. All right. Rough, rough, rough. The control measures that they created of calculating inflation differently. They created a new methodology to create inflation like 6 months ago, I think. They just changed it overnight. They're like, yeah, we have a new methodology on how to calculate this. That was a control measure to keep inflation at a certain level as long as they could. Control measures of calculating inflation with a different methodology are now failing. Inflation probably double what they are reporting. Banks are screwed. I'm really hoping HE has a nice breakout very soon. because I want to take some money from that and get back into some of these bank stocks because consumer lending is an absolute nightmare right now. I mean, it's a disaster. They're reporting that consumer auto loan defaults are at an all-time high. Unusual Whales was talking about consumer credit usage is at an all-time high, and prices in my area in Albuquerque are really starting to get discounted, like $30,000 to $50,000 off. Should probably check Rio Rancho actually. Let's see. That right there actually, that's a smaller home, but to be able to get something for 215,000 around here is not bad. Where's this? Isn't the right one. Hold on. I think this is the realty site I was watching. there's a home right there. What's that? $40,000 off almost. People are knocking home prices down 319 to 295, and there's not too many on sale anymore on the market. They actually, this looks like they took about 15 homes off the market just this week. So people knew their homes were not going to sell. Interest rates, people are getting 8.5%. They're paying 30-40% over value on their homes, even though Albuquerque has a massive influx of people coming in. So build back better. Weird you don't hear that from the admin. Yeah, nothing's being built back better. Our country's literally falling apart. Breakfast burrito time. What's up, Prometheus? Hey, the governor banned breakfast burritos, bro. There's two things you will never ban in New Mexico: breakfast burritos and guns. I mean, this lady's just crazy, man. She's out of her fucking mind. And the 2A protests that have been going on have been very successful. Nothing bad's happened. The cops are now being more public on social media due to this, though, which is a good thing. And they're reporting people being busted for like child abuse and gun violence and all this stuff. And I think the police department being more social and posting that these people are really getting in trouble is going to help more than anything. It says a message across the board that yes, we are arresting people for crimes, which is what the internet would basically not want you to believe. Assault burritos, banning breakfast burritos in the state of New Mexico due to some people feeling threatened. Just put assault burritos. Assault burritos in the state of New Mexico due to one being thrown at the state capitol. I need to find that Jack Black clip. Anchorman burrito. That's how tweets are made, you guys. So back to HE. Guys, I didn't see any big news come out other than now recently the Attorney General has said they're not going to file an investigation against Hawaiian Electric, which is really good. To me, that's like basically, hey, Hawaiian Electric came out right out front and said, we did not cause the fire. We de-energized the lines. We did not cause the fire. We have proof of it. We've given it to the ATF and the federal government and the Maui government. Then the Maui government sued them before any type of investigation. But the problem here is, and why the mayor recused himself, is because Over 20,000 islanders in Hawaii own Hawaiian Electric. 20,000 people own Hawaiian Electric basically by stock. And in that, Hawaiian Electric provides 95% of the power to the citizens of Hawaii. So it's so big, it's too big to fail, for one. But two, I really do think the CEO is being honest in the statement she's making about Hawaiian Electric not being responsible for the fire, in that they de-energized the lines. A multitude of other things could have caused that fire. I don't know why the ATF won't put out their findings publicly, or why the Maui government now with the report has not put out the findings publicly. But the governor and the attorney general have created something called the Maui Fund, which they are hoping everybody will work together to build instead of file lawsuits left and right, which the attorney general is now fighting back against. All these ambulance chaser lawsuits you're seeing on Weeble pop up, where these clowns are trying to get people to sue Hawaiian Electric and Telecom and the Islanders, and everybody's getting sued. The attorney general is telling those people to piss off, which is good. And also in that, the governor and the attorney general are having different authorities investigate into people trying to offer to buy out the land from the Islanders before they even have a chance to rebuild. So it does look like the Islanders want to keep their land, absolutely, and they're wanting to keep their land. They're wanting to fight for it. The governor's a little mixed, flippy floppy on what he's saying. He did say a couple times in interviews that they would like to buy up some of the land to create protected areas so that the Islanders don't lose it. But that's exactly what it is, a government land grab. So hopefully the Islanders decide to keep their property. Federal government basically gave Hawaiian Electric $98 million to upgrade the infrastructure, which they are already doing, and getting power back up and fixing things that would likely be a problem in the future. But the island didn't really get any money. The biggest thing is I don't know who's talking shit. God, these Walt Chavara, these people come out of nowhere, no followers. And this is the problem with Twitter. Someone with absolutely no following, no logical reasoning whatsoever. I mean, the dude looks like he's missing a chromosome. Comes out and can say whatever they want. They can discredit you however they want, but they can never actually put up any truth, fact finding, real information or receipts into what they say. And that's the problem with Twitter, is anyone and everyone can say whatever they want when they want, in a manner of defaming other people. Like, I really try not to go after anybody unless they fit the bill. If the shoe fits, then I'll say something, if I even bother to say it at all. But it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Speaking of this too, you guys should follow Parrot Capital. Binance and Tether and Coin and all these crypto things, man, they're all in deep trouble. It's gonna get bad. Now that Gary Gensler's been pressured, they're gonna put even more heat on crypto. Here we go. Let's go pineapple. More heat on crypto as this thing pops up, because Tether's a huge problem. A lot of these crypto institutions do not have the actual monetary value to back what they're selling to people. And a lot of crypto in that is actually only at the prices it is currently because of basically wash trading, where they trade a coin back and forth 100,000 times to get the price up and make it look like there's actual volume. So yeah, it's not even decentralized currency anymore. It's all centralized. It's just a nightmare. So I think you're going to see this inflation is going to come out, and it's going to slap some people. It's going to be pretty bad. That is a nice little candle. Look at that. We were going red hard. Oh, short interest was updated on HE today. Let's see. Somebody tagged me in it this morning. Who was that? And I appreciate that. Matt. You guys follow Matt. HE slight increase in short interest. That's a pretty big increase, actually, considering that it had almost none reported. Before, it was only like 1.7%. Now there's 12.8 million shares shorted of HE reported by Weeble. I think it's much higher. I think they shorted the piss out of this thing when it tagged 15 to get it back down to 11, because they knew they were in trouble. If it would have popped 15, it would have started its 21 gap fill, and the shorts who shorted it coming down from its 30-40 range, who got caught at 9. I mean, they got caught at 9. There wasn't time for them to rebalance. It went from 9 to 15, like basically overnight. So those shorts got caught down there in the play. We hit a triple top at like 15.64. We should have ran and broke out like crazy. Somebody came in, shorted the piss out of it again. It hit 11, and now we're working our way back up to a breakout point. And if we go back to 15, I'll recover about 40% or 50% of what I took a hit on my call options. But my position right now on my longs is already up $300. If we hit 15, I'll be up over 3-4 grand. I'll look for that triple top again. If it looks like it's going to triple top, I'll dump it, get ready to buy back in at bottom. But I'll also be looking for the breakout on the longer term back to 21. And you guys all know that. We've been talking about this for a while. Technically, too, I guess this trend line can come in and we're not there. Yeah. So we're sitting pretty solid on our basic charting on this breakout period that we're looking at right now. And we should fill back up to 15-ish, like around here, something like that. And if we hit that and we have some positive momentum into the next weekend, this thing could finally go back. Maybe some good news drop from the governor. We make a big old cup right here. Or I'm sorry, here to here. Hit our 21 mark, cup, handle, hit 17, gap fill to 31 on some good news. So many exchanges are not backed at all. Yeah, they're not. It's horrible. More like stagflation. It is stagflation. I think inflation's actually going to start growing at a rate where it's going to be uncontrollable for the government to handle. I'll understand how it doesn't. At least 2x from here, they are essentially received $98 million grant to rebuild. Exactly, they did. It was a grant. It's free money. Biden was like, oh, man, we're going to give you $98 million, Hawaiian Electric, because we're definitely not invested in you. There are big people with big money in Hawaiian Electric. And like I said, most of the companies owned by the islanders. 20,000 investors on the island own Hawaiian Electric. Market just didn't price in its winning yet. Yeah, I don't think so. Sometimes bad news though, man. I'm telling you, God, I regret not going back short MCB at 50. I knew it. I was waiting for it too, and I got wrapped up in the stupid AMC shit. But MCB is not looking healthy at all right now. It may finally get what it deserves. AMC having a little tick up today. That's good. Every time AMC starts to run, every single freaking time AMC starts to run, Adam Aaron tweets and the stock takes a nosedive. Every freaking time. Everyone in AMC should go out and challenge Adam Aaron. Like, hey, stop tweeting when the stock is running. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Janet Yellen Powell say we would see 2 more rate hikes before the end of the year? If correct, holiday sales will take a massive hit. Yeah, I absolutely agree. They probably need to do 2 more rate hikes at minimum to even get this thing under control. Of course, as soon as I dump my OSTK calls, it takes a rip. So I'm guessing now that I dump my HE calls, this thing should also take a rip. Dude, people are I'm seeing people out in my general community that are absolutely broke. I'm talking everything they built up over the pandemic is gone. The barter system is starting to come back in certain areas. People trading favors for each other instead of cash. It's going to be a rough holiday, in my opinion, for a lot of people. So I'm going to do what I can to try to make some money in this market and go out and get some Christmas gifts and help some people out. This is what I do. But so far, man, this is just crazy. Oh, man, I got to take today's Blue Mountain Coffee Day. I'm going to take Blue Mountain Coffee up to the tap room and the restaurant across the street. I'm going to make everybody a cup of this stuff. And they're kind of like, well, it's just coffee. I'm like, no, you guys have not experienced this yet. When they get a first taste of that Blue Mountain coffee, they're gonna have almost the same exact reaction I did of just absolute bliss, man. It's like, when you get a really good high quality steak from a real steakhouse, say in Lake Chicago, this is how that coffee is. That first sip you take, you're like, wow, this is actually what coffee is supposed to taste like. I cannot wait to see their reactions on it. OSTKs is ripping. I dumped my calls, and look, it ripped. HE still kind of just pimping around, but I think they know that I went long on it. ARCC's looking good. I like to go look at ARCC to remind me of my mistake of selling my stock in that. LMNOP's working today, you guys. It's working. This is crazy. Here it is. LMNOP. Choose violence. It's kind of weird. Alderlane Eggs gets the fixer on the board. Interesting. Wonder if Mark's working on that. I didn't see him tweet anything this morning. Holy crap. What's happening with... They'll pimp the market today because I dumped my calls. KRE. The hell is KRE anyways? Regional Bank, S&P Regional Banking ETF. Holy crap. Look at the hit it took this morning. Regional banks, MCB, again. I think MCB is finally going to get what it deserves. It should have went out of business months ago. Months ago it should have went out of business. All right. We're going to go up and we're going to retest the resistance on HE 1320. We may see our breakout today. Who knows? It looks like possibly because of inflation, the market, maybe some shorts are coming in to cover to get ready to short other plays like regional banks. I already tweeted too much today. I'll tweet randomly and get massive engagement. And then I'll tweet really important stuff at other times and get none. And it's really weird. I'm going to actually really slow down on Twitter. I'm only going to tweet 3 times a day. And I'm going to tweet at 9, I'm going to tweet at 2, and then I'm going to tweet at 5. And I'm going to see if that consistently makes a difference. All coffee is not the same. I drink coffee 24 hours a day. Oh, there's good coffees and blah, nasty. Oh, dude. Rio Grande Roasters is actually not too bad. TMF looking sus. What's TMF doing? TMF had a nice pop yesterday. TMF looks like it's just going sideways, preparing for the market. I mean, we're right in this channel. I mean, this is a nice channel to be in. It looks like it's getting ready for a reversal back to the upside to start ticking back up. Maybe potentially fill this gap here at 606. It's going to move with the market, though. Look at TMF over the period of the last X many years since its inception, back in 2009, I believe. 2009, it was new, didn't really do anything. We were coming out of the recession as the economy started coming back together. Let's see here. 2014, 15, 16, Trump came into office, investor confidence spiked. Treasuries didn't probably do as good because people had their money out in the open market. And then when the pandemic hit, treasuries became safe. Boom, blah, 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 went way up. Now treasuries exploded, went way too high. Everybody started shorting them. Everybody started selling them. And now Jamie Dimon's even talking right now about, oh, it's not a good time to buy treasuries. This is a long-term play. This will pop. Oh, here we go. TMF will violently pop when they announce a pause. Absolutely. Yep. Boom. And it'll run up. Probably after the election. You guys might as well just assume this is a close to a 2-year play if you want to get any real money out of it. But when the election rolls around and we get into all that shenanigans, with inflation peaking again, you'll probably see some action on that. But like I said, you get a little dividend while you wait, and you get your 12-month tax return on it. So after HE, I'm going to watch carefully. If HE pops and I get the money out of it, I'm going to watch regional banks very carefully and look at shorting them again into the elections, because I think a lot of them are going to take hits into the presidential primaries. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, loan data looks absolutely awful. And one of my friends said that her cousin is now being laid off from her lending firm for home mortgages. But everybody still isn't talking about commercial real estate taking an absolute dump. I mean, more and more e-commerce is going to pop up as we go into the future, which is why Overstock's a good long-term play too. What happened here? Why are you doing this to me? HE 1314. It's working up to that resistance. It's going real slow though. It's probably going to tap that and then come back down. But I feel way, way better in my new position. Just being long the stock, which will be good because say it goes back to 20, gap fills 30, flutters around, everything gets back to normal, and they reinstitute the 40-cent dividend. Or I think, what was the dividend on that? Was it 40 cents? 36-cent dividend. I'll just hold it and collect the dividend while all the nastiness is going on in the market, and I'll start putting more money into other plays like short and bank stocks or puts. I mean, I think when the news hits and the bank crisis starts kicking up again and you start seeing that hashtag, puts on bank stocks will be really good. All right, where are we at now? But the fact that Jamie Dimon is telling everybody that treasuries, I wouldn't be putting any money in treasuries and blah, 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 blah. You know that he's wanting money to flow back into the banks. He's in trouble. I mean, after the Epstein deposition, this guy has just refused to shut his mouth. All right, come on. Got to delete all these emails that I don't need anything about. I'm waiting to see what my new electric bill is going to be after I've got this new central air unit installed. Ooh. I'm hoping it levels out and is right around where I had it before. It'll be a little higher considering, I don't know, I mean, the swamp cooler, I mean, that thing ran 24/7 and my water bill actually got pretty high. So UPST, every time we have a rate hike and the company takes a hit, people consolidate their debt and UPST friggin' runs up. You know what's really crazy about UPST? Black Knight came out and bought up $4.5 billion in loans that they could not keep on their books for UPST, right? I played the crap out of UPST, and I never should have stopped. I was making a killing on that stock. But Black Knight came out and bought up a ton off of their loan book. I'm getting the feeling UPST is probably going to, I don't know, maybe it'll go back to 34. UPST bought a ton off their loan book. Now, the guy who owns, this is a really good article. This is a great article. The man who bought the NYSE just made an $11.9 billion bet that he can fast track your mortgage for far less than you're paying now. This doesn't look like a great time to be bullish on wagers on mortgage market. But Jeff Sprecher, founder and CEO, Commodities Securities Exchange, Intercontinental Exchange, 64 billion market cap, has bought. Let's see. Let's just get to the meat and potatoes of it. Oh, God, why do they do this? This article is not even proprietary. Everybody's talking about it. Why do they hide it? With Ellie Mae, ICE will soon have the front-end partner mortgage service process under its control too. About 40% of all mortgages in the U.S. were originated through Ellie Mae. But in here somewhere, they talked about Black Knight. I can't remember which one it was. Somewhere in there, they talked about Black Knight also being part of this buyout by this guy. Oh, there it is. Go back. Go back. Shit. They talked about Black Knight being part of it too. Now, the funny thing is, this guy runs the Intercontinental Exchange, right? Well, guess who is the board, who's the CEO for T0, which is where you would probably need to run tokenized mortgages. It's the only legitimate SEC approved trading platform, which is really funny because with T0 having that, why are all these other exchanges still allowed to operate? It doesn't make any sense. They're illegally operating as illegal exchanges. But if they tokenize mortgages, the guy who owns ICE goes back and talks to David Goon, who used to be the CEO of ICE, is now the CEO of T0, used to run the ICE exchange. If they work together and they tokenize mortgages and put them on T0, TZROP is going to go through the freaking roof. That's going to be interesting. Tokenizing mortgages is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant because there's too much paperwork, there's too much delay time, there's too much just shenanigans across the lending markets that create too many middlemen and too much paperwork, which ends up costing everybody too much money. You could tokenize mortgages, have all your documents in one signable package digitally, and be done with it. It would be completely legal. And the realtor will sit there, show you the home, go to the tokenization on the thing and say, this is what you're going to buy. All the paperwork's here. We're going to go through it together. If you agree with everything and the underwriting's good, we're going to click yes. You're going to be good to go. That's how easy this is going to be with tokenized mortgages. I think it'll be an absolute incredible thing for the markets. Now, in that, it's not going to solve any problems with moral hazard in lending. I mean, these lenders right now are giving loans to people who absolutely cannot control it. They literally cannot control, or they cannot handle the loans they're getting at 8.5%, with Zillow offering 1% down payment on homes they know are going to devalue 30%. I think you're going to also see too that Airbnb is going to take a massive hit. Oops. I think Airbnb, shit, I mean, look at that already. 5-minute chart, 151 down to 143. That looks like inflation data really smacked it in the face. I guess it's maybe trying to find support right there. You know what? Do I have money in my Fidelity account? I don't even think I want to touch the banks now. I think I just want to short Airbnb. I talked about that a couple weeks ago in a tweet, and I forgot that I was going to do that, and now I missed my big entry point. Let's put Airbnb on the watch list here. I'm gonna go in. I want to check the chart closer on this. Airbnb. Ooh, RSI is still pretty high on this thing. I'm getting in. Airbnb is going to take a huge hit because people are not going to be able to maintain 1 and 2 guest homes because nobody's renting anymore, and a lot of people are going to stop going on vacation. Let's see. Individual Airbnb. So I'm going to take out a small short now. Oh, God, I hate that it automatically puts in fractional shares. I'm going to do puts instead. Buy to open. Put. Let's get some duration on it too. Ooh, earnings is October 30th. I'm going to do November 17. It's a ways out there. $130s. 120. Let's check the chart again. When was the last heavy resistance? 123. That was the last big bottom. And it is showing a pattern. That was a bear flag that turned bullish. And now it looks like it's going to come back down to the downside and start a downward trend. Let's do 125. That way, if we do hit, we'll be in the money if I do need to exercise. 277. Let's see here. You know what? I'm gonna do The secondary support that it bounced before that was 103. I think with inflation coming up, home mortgages falling off, the housing market cooling down, Airbnb is going to take a big hit. And what is it? It's not really that far off its old all-time highs, and it's been on a consistent uptrend since that big dump in the market back in December. And we're getting now close to October, November, September, October, November, December again. If we have another fall off in December like we did, and this thing crashes back to 103, that is going to be a good play. And it's got a gap to the downside too, to 134. It's got to fill a gap on the downside to 134. That could happen before earnings. What is it? It's mid-September, October 20s. And then I can rebalance if I want to get back in after a nice run on these puts. Yeah. I'm not going to advertise this one on Twitter either, you guys. I'm going to take DZZ's advice. Come on. Come on. Why is it not giving me a total? Puts. 41. There we go. Cool. All right, I'm in. I think I'm in, if it fills. Yep, sounds like it filled. We're back in the ninja loan days. We are absolutely back in the ninja loan days because with the influx of immigrants coming over via the administration just opening the borders, and they want this because they want lending to get out. They want to dump debt on families. What they're doing is they're letting people immigrate. They don't know our systems. They're uneducated about how the American finance system works. They come in, they get a bunch of free money, they get a taste of a new life, then boom, they get stuck in it. They have to continue living like that. They work medial jobs and labor jobs, which there's nothing wrong with, into being targeted by banks to give them home loans that they can never afford and or that they're going to have to pay on them for 60 years into their kids owning the debt is what they do. Space isn't looking healthy. Yeah, space is long term. Like I'm not even looking at it because I don't really care. I mean, they just had another successful spaceflight launch. So the only thing that I can even theorize in that is the stock used to run at $60. Is someone's just decided to short the piss out of this thing to attempt a buyout on it. I mean, somebody is shorting the piss out of space. This is one that I'm just going to continue to build up on. I mean, that's just what it is. If this thing gets any type of new government contracting and runs back to $4, it's going to find support and start building back up. But for a spaceflight company with the assets that it has on hand right now running successful space flights, the assets alone are worth more than $2 a share. What's the float? Let me just check on Fidelity. It doesn't make any logical sense. Let's see here. It's shorted 18.56% as per Fidelity. I mean, someone's going to get ready to cover on that thing eventually, and it's going to pop back up, especially off of, I mean, their earnings are terrible, but they literally just started flying people into space that paid for tickets back in 2005. If this becomes a thing now and they kick up the rotation of flights and more people start going into space, then you're going to get the revenue coming in. 367 million shares. So they've shorted, let's just put 368 and round it up. They've shorted 66 million. Is that right? Hold on. Let's just go. They marked it. 61.95 million shares short on the flow of space. 61 million shares short. And I wish I could tell you what most of it was short at, But I'm guessing just by the chart that a lot of those short sellers came in probably right around $6. So you're looking at a big pot of money on space. $366 million could be potentially short or more on space. And they're actually flying human beings into space for tourism. And it blows my mind the stock is at $2. It's absolutely insane. It's not even logical. We're up 3% on HE already on the long position, so that's good. We better move Airbnb up the chain here. Let's go check the earnings. You know what? Nope, 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 not doing it. I'm just gonna wait and see. We're gonna put DZZ's test. Okay. They're probably watching the stream anyways. Code word. Mom's house. Mom's house. What is today? Is today Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. Hello. Sounds good. Thank you. You too. Dog's got a chipped tooth that's starting to bug him. I'm gonna take him in, and he's gonna look like a hillbilly, Bubba. Sorry. Let's just say this: Airbnb. People bought all these homes to rent out to vacationers, and now housing crisis is starting to kick up with new inflation numbers coming out. Banks are overlended. If people have second mortgages for Airbnb homes, and they just imagine if some of them loans are subprime and they're not getting enough rental power coming in, it could get really ugly. Of course, Airbnb's kicking up as soon as I talk about it. HE, we hit resistance. Tried to break through, got tapped to 1321. 1320 was our resistance. Maybe it is 1321. Nah. Old resistance was 1320. Looking good, looking like a breakout because I sold my call options. So now somebody saw a huge sum of money dump off the call option chain. And they said, okay, now we can do what we wanted to do because this fucking idiot that put all this money down on a good play is out of it. All right, back to Airbnb real quick. Airbnb. Whoops. There. That kind of, nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it, man. I've already tweeted. Look at, I'm addicted to this. It's a problem. Closing Twitter. You pineapple. Let's go. Let's go pineapple juice. Look at the volume that came in. 147,000. Usually with 140 to 150,000, we see an uptick in stock price. And because I closed my call options today and I knew it would happen, I closed my call options today. They saw that in the chain and they're letting it break out. It's absolutely hilarious. Regardless, I like my position better now. let's see. Are Airbnb insiders selling? Securities Exchange. Oh, Airbnb insider Raymond James and Associates. Number of shares to be sold 10,000. 300,000. Ooh, Airbnb insider selling. I don't want to tweet it. All right, you know what? I tweeted I wanted to go short Airbnb a while ago. Let me go find it. I tweeted this a while ago at the peak, and I fucking forgot about it because I was messing with AMC. When did I tweet that? July 11th? Man, back in July? Where was Airbnb back in July? It actually went up since July, so maybe I'm lucky I didn't get in. Was it July? Did it say July? It's it's peaked and now it's really starting to see some pressure to the downside. Should have got in this morning with CPI, man. Now it's rebounding off of that drop resistance bounce. It's going to start coming back down. It's going to recoil back down into some lows. All right, HE is doing good. Hopefully it kind of keys up, keeps running to the upside. Now we can let it go nice and HE could go for 12 months and I don't even care anymore. HE's the play. It's going to recover. The Islanders are getting their lives back together. Hawaiian Electric's restoring power. They got a $98 million grant. The CEO's backing the company up. The Attorney General's not investigating them. The governor's shooing people off the island trying to steal homes. It looks like a good situation to me. So I'm thinking we have CPI today, and I think FOMC is on the 20th. When we get comment period out and they talk about rate hikes, you're going to see some magic bad downside. Oh, God. Just all this Walt shove it. This guy's probably just a retail investor, probably lost his money. He's probably wanting to keep supporting the company. Look, if you like AMC theaters and want to own the stock, good for you. Good for you. I wish you the best, but you better hope that the Taylor Swift thing pumps out some really, really extravagant numbers, which from what I heard, it already oversold Spider-Man pre-sales, which is good for AMC. So I would love to see AMC come back to $20 again for people and give people a chance to actually get their money back, which is having a good day today. But look at that. Look at it. Somebody came in and just slapped 4 million in volume. That may be Adam Aaron selling stock. 801. What do you think that is? That is a slap in the face. Oh, come on, I need a better photo. Why is this not working? We don't need all that bottom stuff on there. There we go. I'm doing it again. I'm tweeting. Told myself I was only tweeting 3 times a day. There's so much information that's relevant that people do not key up on in the market. They're more worried about what would you do in this situation type of crap. It's so stupid. Watch Airbnb fly through the roof now. I talked about it and the stock started going up. That's okay. All right, it's getting bright. I gotta close my curtains. Actually, I'll probably just finish out. Overstock's having a heck of a day. That's nice. Definitely shouldn't have closed my calls on that one. Of course, as soon as I close them, stocks start going up. HE's or Airbnb's probably getting ready to flip over here pretty soon. I should have waited. I should have looked at the RSI on the 5-minute better. I bought in a little too early. That's okay though. That's on my list of takeaways from the AMC fiasco. If insiders start selling, someone knows. Yeah, absolutely. If insiders are selling stock, they know that they're due for a downside. This guy sold stock in Airbnb at a very good price. It is more corporations and businesses that are holding variable rate mortgages. Yeah. That's a good day for HE so far. Don't be surprised if it trickles back down. It's getting back up into the ranges where we had this 1334 breakout. But the channel right now is here to here pretty, let's just say here to here. But the breakout is due tomorrow or Friday, in my opinion, if we break out. Now, so far, this thing on bullish charting patterns has went to the downside. So I'm not going to be upset if it does because now I'm long the stock. So down over AMC, don't forget the institutions that are supposed to be selling his personal vested shares, handling his retirement. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, these guys are the board. All the board members sold their stock when it was 34, 40 bucks, and they let basically the retail shareholders hold the bag because they knew they were going to dump everything on them. They knew it from day one. I knew it as soon as they said T0 is likely illegal. I should have got out of play. I made a bunch of money on Ape. Honestly, I got out of play positive, and that's more than what most can say because I flipped Ape for so long, flipping Ape back and forth over and over and over again. And people called me, "Oh, you're a flip flopper. Oh, you're not really in the play." I'm like, no, I just know that I'm not going to lose money in the play like everyone else did. So if you flipped on volatility in the play, good for you. So, all right, looks like I said, I'm expecting some type of breakout maybe tomorrow. I wouldn't really say this is like a double top or a triple top on anything yet. We've had a solid uptrend since 11. I wish I would have sold and got rid of my calls here and took the cash and ran and bought in at 1190. That would have been great. But it is looking bullish. Higher lows, 7-day ascending wedge into a possible breakout point, which we could see come back to 15, maybe regain all the short interest that the shorts came in and killed this thing at. They did is they shorted it here, killed the momentum because this was ready to break out back to 21. They got in at bottom long, fixing their position, and now we're going to come out, break back to 15, go sideways in this channel again, and then break back to 21 in time. And maybe we just hold this one for 12 months and get our tax benefits on it. Other than that, Airbnb getting ready to reset. RSI is getting closer to the upper ranges, but this one I've got duration on into what I think is potentially at least going to be a gap fill down to 135. Yeah, that gap needs to fill. 134, 135, and if it does and the market data comes in with bad, say FOMC comes out and it's bad and the comment periods are bad, they say crazy shit and more rate hikes are on the table, this thing dumps, the market dumps with it, goes back down to 105, maybe 123, and then if we're lucky 105, and those puts will print like crazy. So either way, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for coming in. Please hit the like button, please share the video. I'm going to start working on more controlled, condensed content too. Probably only going to stream an hour a day if I do, and I'm going to try to have all my materials already ready to go. I'm going to do research at night, leave it on my screen, and then be ready to go in the morning instead of just kind of stumbling around like I do. But I made up on my AMC losses flipping Ape for the last month before conversion. Good for you, Prometheus. I should have sold. I I was ready to sell. I was up 44%. I could have took like an $8,000 profit, and I got too locked into helping every other person in the world. Phone calls every hour, emails every day, DMs nonstop, where I forgot about my own position once again, and I'm done doing that. So it's good to be out of the nonsense, back into real investing. So my plan is here, my Airbnb put prints, I make a little scratch on the side while I'm waiting for HE to come back, maybe hold for 12 months. While I do collect some dividends into my tax benefits on a, what, 13 to 150% gain, potentially 200% gain. I make a pot of money, dump the stock, reinvest back into certain things in the market. Maybe banks by then will be ready to take a nosedive, because by then you're getting into the presidential election, and it's going to be the weirdest, wonkiest, most ridiculous presidential election in history, in my opinion. So either way, thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate y'all. Good luck with whatever you're doing in any position you are. Again, I'm going to keep accumulating space. I'm going to hold my HE long term until this thing recovers, maybe 12 months for the tax benefits while I collect dividends. Watching Airbnb very close. Next week, I think the 20th, we have speakers, FOMC, and we'll see what they say about rate hikes. And if they do in the market dumps, we're going to be in a very good position on these stocks. So you guys have a good one. Froggy Stocks out.